This is Conspiracies Unpacked, and my name is Danny Clayton. Elvis Lives is a bumper sticker that you would have seen on the back of cars if you've ever been to Las Vegas. This is all from the theory that the king is still alive. Now, this is what we know. In 1977, Elvis's then girlfriend, Ginger, found him slumped over unconscious on the toilet. Later, some doctors pronounced him dead by cardiac arrhythmia at the age of 42. But since then, there have been some questionable sightings, grainy videos and pictures that suggest that Elvis is still alive. In fact, a sighting society has even popped up, and there are many enthusiasts that won't take no for an answer. The king is still alive. Now, joining us to break this all down is futurist, data analyst, and Blue Suede Shoe enthusiast, Dr. Richard Hames. How are you, Doctor?
Hello, Danny. Raring to go.
So there was a fair bit of mystery surrounding the autopsy, which has raised loads of questions from conspiracy theorists. Why is that? What was going on there?
There were three physicians involved in the autopsy, and one of them, Dr. Francisco, broke ranks without asking the other two and announced to the press that this was a heart attack before the conclusion of the autopsy. The reason behind that would have been that the family were pressuring him to announce that it was a heart attack to avoid any kind of sense that he might have been a drug addict.
If there is a doctor who is saying something different to, let's say, the other medical experts, couldn't that give a little bit of credence to the idea that maybe there was some mystery surrounding his death, that maybe he was snuck out the back door?
It could indeed. And he was an honorary deputy sheriff in Shelby County. It was said that he was involved in monitoring people in the music industry who were drug addicts, and there was certainly some suggestion that the mafia were out to get him, and that would have been a reason for him to fake his death.
And when we think of the evidence that these societies that have popped up, the Elvis is still alive society, do they have any good evidence?
With sightings of any kind, you have to realize that they're fleeting, images are grainy, and you know, in a situation where people actually want to believe that he's alive, you can believe anything.
How sure are we that Elvis was pronounced dead by medical professionals?
I'm pretty sure when you're looking at hospital records and things like that, we're pretty sure that he carked it because of his state of health. He was a diabetic, and he was certainly taking drugs. He was addicted to both barbiturates and amphetamines, and he wasn't a healthy boy. Another doctor, his personal physician, George Akopoulos, the amount of drugs he prescribed, especially from January to August in 1977, over 10,000 doses of drugs. You have to think, my goodness, how could anyone withstand that amount of drug in your blood?
Okay, so when we look at the barbiturates and the depressants and the chemicals in Elvis's blood, when we think that he's not really been sighted properly by high-definition cameras, and we take all the evidence and we put it together, do we think that Elvis Presley, the king, faked his death and he is still alive?
I think it's absolutely not the case. And I think it would have been really much more likely that he died in the situation in which he was found, because he was very ill and very overweight, suffering from diabetes and a drug addict.
So bad news for music fans. Is it plausible that the king, Elvis Presley, faked his death and is living somewhere pleasantly? Very, very unlikely. In fact, he most likely died on the dunny. I'm all shook up. This is Conspiracies Unpacked.